So everyone got an agenda sheet. The reason we give these out is because we find that people like to jot down questions for themselves as we're going along and to ask us towards the end of class. So just jot those down. That's why there's a lot of white space, especially on the front. So you can make sure that your question gets asked. Whatever the question may be about Windows 8, definitely feel free to ask about it, because if you're thinking about it, someone else has probably thought the same thing as well. So don't feel shy about asking. No question is too stupid. And if I can't answer it, I will do my best to get you an answer even after class is over. And I'll get you something over email or over the phone. So we always do our best to make sure all questions, no questions get left unturned. So the way I structured this, we got a few slides I'm going to go over, some of the basics about Windows 8. I cater this class also to those that don't have Windows 8 yet. Well, I know the majority of you probably are here because you do. I want to give some information for those that don't, that are deciding about making a purchase, looking at new computers as well. I want to help those individuals as well. And then after that, we're going to get to all live demonstration. So pretty much me working off my Windows 8 machine. I'm going to be doing demos of the start screen, the tiles, how to use the desktop interface, control panel, and you can, again, feel free to ask questions as we go along when we get to certain topics over here. I just want to point out on the back of the agenda, we've got some great classes coming up in the springtime in the next few months. On the bottom back of the agenda sheet, I put the full list of our upcoming classes. So if you're interested in any of these topics, feel free to sign up for them. A very popular class that we did in the past that we're doing once more next month is Computer and Internet Security for Beginners. If you're scared about banking online, or how should I be doing email safely, or what do I have to worry about with my smartphone, we're going to answer all those questions at that class. These are the kind of things we deal with our customers, the questions we get asked, and we put this class together to give everyone sort of a 10,000 foot view of what all the threats are out there, how you can keep yourself safe, and what to look out for when you're using the internet. There's a lot of bad stuff out there these days, but with a few simple, good pieces of information, you can do all the things you want to do online without risking losing your privacy or getting your identity stolen. In March, we're going to be doing a brand new class as well called Maintaining Your Home Computer for Beginners. We do help desk events locally at the libraries. Everyone asks us, what should I be doing on a monthly basis on my computer to make sure it's running properly? So we're going to answer a lot of these questions that people ask us, the kind of things you can't read about in any textbooks or anything, insider knowledge we're going to give out. So be sure to come to that class, as we're going to let a lot of good information loose for you. Also in March, we're going to be doing a SkyDrive, a deep dive into SkyDrive. SkyDrive is a free product from Microsoft that allows you to synchronize your documents with a free backup service. I made our presentation here on SkyDrive. Our agenda was made in SkyDrive. They give you a free version of Microsoft Office you can use online. So there's a lot of benefits to SkyDrive. So if you're interested in learning about that, come out to that class. And then in May 3rd, we're going to be doing Open Tech Help Desk here at Niles Library. It is an extension of what we do at Park Ridge Library every month, the second Saturday of the month, where you can come in with any technology question and we will answer it free of charge for a 2-hour time span. Okay? So stuff we usually charge for, you come to us here at the Niles Library and we will make sure it gets answered. Smartphones, tablets, computers, anything technology related within reason. We'll make sure it gets handled. Okay? Okay, so our class today is about Windows 8, and you're going to hear the name Windows 8.1, Windows 8 interchangeably. If you're curious, Windows 8.1 is a small point release update that Microsoft did to Windows 8 that was free. It was given out, it's been out since October of 2012, or October of this last year. And if you bought a Windows 8 machine, you're entitled to the free update to Windows 8.1. And I encourage everyone to go ahead and get it, because what I'm showing up on the screen here today is running in Windows 8.1. So some of the benefits, some of the changes, especially with split screen view, where you can use apps next to your desktop interface and you use multiple apps on one single screen. These kind of features are only available in the 8.1 update. So I'll show everyone how you can get that update for free for yourself if you don't have it already. Windows 8, it goes without saying, it's Microsoft's latest operating system. I heard some rumblings about bad reviews and things of this nature. Yes, the technology press has been very rough on Windows 8. I've been working with it with customers. I find it to be a very good operating system. The only thing people focus on in the media is the start screen, but there's a lot more under the hood that goes into this operating system. And I'm going to show off some of those things for everyone today. It's replaced Windows 7, which was the previous version of Windows. The biggest change is there is no more start menu in this Windows. There's only a start button that you can get access to, which takes you back and forth between the start screen and the desktop interface. And I'm going to show you how that functionality works. A big part of the problem is, getting your feet wet, trying this. Once you try it, I tend to think that 75% or more of you will like some of the changes that were introduced. I've been using Windows 8 personally on my work laptop day to day since before Windows 8 came out. So I've been on it now for over a year and a half. I'm fairly familiar with it. I'm not an expert by any means, but I do know quite a bit about it. So I want to share a lot of this knowledge with everyone today. For those that haven't gotten a Windows 8 machine, there's only two ways that you can get it. You're either going to get a brand new computer that has it pre-installed, or you're going to go ahead and buy a new copy for yourself online or in the store. I generally tell people if you're running the older computer is, the more I recommend just getting a new computer. Don't play around with upgrading. It's not worth your time or hassle. I was just helping a company this week that tried to do a Windows 7 to Windows 8 update on their own, and it got really nasty. They were out of state, so I couldn't help them locally, but it was just, it's tough to do on your own, and I really would not recommend it. I would say just wait till you get a new computer to get it. All new computers are going to have it, and if you're upgrading, I recommend that you try it before you buy it. You can do so at, we like to recommend Micro Center, which is in Chicago. Great computer store. You can try out almost any computer on the market over there. And the versions of Windows 8 that you have to worry about, pretty much, we have a Windows RT. Windows RT is a special version of Windows that only runs on the Surface tablets and the Nokia Lumia tablet that they have out. So it's a stripped down version of Windows that gives you the start screen, gives you your desktop interface, but you cannot install any traditional programs like Quicken or traditional Microsoft Office, things of that nature. So it's a special version of Windows that's meant to give you an excellent battery life at the expense of compatibility. And then we have Windows 8.1 regular and then Pro for business users. Basically, what your computer comes with will be likely good enough for your needs. What happened here? So we get asked a lot about the Surface tablet this day and age because there's a lot of confusion surrounding it. The Surface tablet is Microsoft's first-party tablet device. Does anyone in here have a Surface tablet or a Windows 8 tablet?
Well, that's Dell.
It's a Dell tablet?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a Dell tablet probably running that Windows
But
RT
it looks
system.
like what's on the screen.
Yeah, it'd be very similar. So there's a lot more manufacturers that are coming out with these tablets that are acting like the iPad and the Android tablets. The nice thing about the Surface, I've worked with this device with a few customers already. It's very nice because not only is it a tablet, but you can convert it into a laptop for yourself. So the cover doubles as a keyboard and a mouse, just like you can see here at the bottom here. So if you're looking for a tablet that's versatile and you can use to potentially replace your laptop, this is probably the device you want to look at because it is going to give you a good value, best of both worlds kind of approach. I put the prices up there for those. You can go over to the Microsoft Store or Micro Center to take a look at them if you're interested. Even Best Buy has these devices too. With Windows 8, there's a lot of choices with the operating system. You can get convertible tablets, touchscreen laptops. My particular day-to-day laptop's a convertible tablet of this nature. I tend to enjoy it quite a lot. You can get slate tablets, all-in-one desktop. So there's just a lot of different choice out there right now. As I said previously, some of the biggest changes in this version of Windows compared to the previous versions is that we have the modern UI, the start screen interface. So what this does basically gives us an interface like if you've used an iPad before, you have iPad apps for yourself. Well, now Microsoft's given us apps that we can get from the Windows Store. And a lot of the apps, we don't have the same number of apps between the iPad and the Windows devices yet, but it's getting there. I think we're nearing 160,000 apps on the Windows Store right now, so there's a lot of stuff out there. You'll probably find what you're looking for, and I think I heard statistics saying that there's like 70% of all the top 100 apps on the iPad Store or iPhone Store are already available on the Windows Store. So the parity between the two ecosystems is definitely increasing. As I already said, Start menu is gone, and I'm going to teach you today how to overcome that scary notion to some people. I'll teach everyone what the difference is between regular desktop apps and the Windows Store apps with the new Start Screen interface. I'm going to show you how to do split screen app combinations, which is really neat. You can't do this on any computer that I know of outside of the Windows 8.1 system, which I'm going to be showing here today, which is really neat because you can put on your stock quotes or your news on the left-hand side of your screen. You can do your Microsoft Office on the right-hand side, or weather on the left and this on the right, so you can get really crazy with what you have open at any given time. And while these kind of touch devices were out in the past, I used to use one in college. This is really the first time that Windows has gotten the touch way of doing computing right, as far as I'm concerned.
Is Term app exactly the same as application?
Say that once more. What app?
Term app, APP, does it refer to regular
App generally refers
application?
to, it's very similar, so they're interchangeable, but I say, from what I've heard, app is more used for smaller style apps that are like the iPad apps or iPhone apps or Windows Store apps. Application is usually what we call a regular program that we're used to in Windows, a big program, traditional program.
Word or Excel would be application?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And the tile apps that I'm going to show everyone on the start screen, those are more apps.
But these terms are used interchangeably.
It's interchangeable. I'm just saying what I've noticed the industry centering around.
Right.
Okay?
Thank you.
Some of the differences in Windows 8 and 8.1, if you're looking at buying a new machine, these are some of the things that I found in the new operating system that tend to be quite a bit better. Very stable. If you're used to blue screens on your Windows XP system or older versions of Windows, that doesn't exist in this new version. I have not run into a blue screen yet, and I've been on it since before it came out. Go ahead.
We have a question there, most secure Windows ever.
Yes.
I read in one article that you don't need an antivirus anymore.
Not true.
Huh?
Not true.
Okay.
Not true. Whoever said that, they shouldn't be saying
Windows
that.
indicates that you don't need an antivirus.
No, Microsoft includes a very basic bare bones antivirus program. And again, I say basic in the most basic of terms. It's not meant to replace a full antivirus. I would not be doing internet browsing just with it. It's meant just to tide you over until you can purchase a proper antivirus program.
Thank you.
That's so whoever wrote that should restate that, as I would not recommend anyone relying on the built-in antivirus. Okay?
You might be referring to the Chromebook.
Uh,
You might be talking about the Chromebook, sir? The Google Chromebook, or are you talking about the new Windows 8?
The new Windows 8 was, I read something where it was shown that you didn't need an antivirus program.
It's very strong on its own, but I would still not say it's good to run
I have
without
partners
it.
in Windows 8, but it's not, I'm just ready to upgrade to 8.1.
Yeah.
Still,
Yeah.
okay.
No, still use your own antivirus. Like I said, they just include it, so you purchase something, you go to the store, buy a new computer, you have some time before you buy a proper antivirus. It's faster than any other version of Windows. My laptop boots to a usable desktop in less than about 15 seconds, sometimes 10 seconds, so it's very quick, and most customer machines I see are also just as fast. As I was just talking about, most secure version of Windows ever. I was looking at some charts that Microsoft released that showed the number of infections per 1,000 machines across all version of Windows. These stats just came out about a month ago. XP, obviously, a lot of infections. Vista a little smaller, 7 smaller, 8 is next to nothing. So it's a very solid system. Even the best attacks are not able to penetrate it. Of course, I have cleaned off systems running Windows 8 that have gotten infected with malware and viruses, so it's not unthinkable. But again, your chances are very, very slim running the newest Windows 8.
I wish you hadn't said that.
Printer support is very good. Device support in general. Before we used to always have to install disks with our new hardware that we bought. Most devices are usually built into this new version, so it's very easy to work with peripherals and accessories that you have. The Windows Store, I see that as a benefit because there's a lot of different apps that you can browse between, and it's only becoming more and more populated, and we'll go over that shortly. It has a refresh feature that you can use. Refresh allows you to reinstall your copy of Windows behind the scenes without affecting your data or your programs. Never could do that in the past. So again, that's not something to do when you get infected with viruses, but it's good for if something stops working, like internet browsing doesn't work, or your printer just has gone haywire and refuses to work. You can do a refresh in place and replace all the bits that control Windows, but all your programs stay intact. So that's really, really neat technology.
And that is F5, correct?
What was that?
That refresh is F5?
No, it's actually you have to go in the control panel to find that. You can't just click a button to do that. No, it's not that fast.
That's what someone they told me.
No.
Those are the experts I talked to.
If you use multiple monitors at home, more and more people are using more than one screen. I use a second screen at my home office and at my regular office. If you use a second screen or 2-3 screens, the support for those multiple monitors is much better than it's ever been before, so you'll really like that if you do use multiple monitors. Battery life is also very good. Compared to when I was running Windows 7, I'm seeing about 10 to 15% better battery life on my laptop, so they got power consumption down pretty well. And one of the biggest things that I enjoy about 8.1 compared to 8 standard is that it has built-in support for the SkyDrive platform. From Microsoft. So before you have to install a program from Microsoft to use it, now it's built right in. If you sign in with a Microsoft account to your computer, you're connected to your SkyDrive, you can save documents and Excel spreadsheets and your photos up to there, and when you put them in that right folder, it'll save them up to Microsoft's cloud service without you having to lift a finger. It's really, really nice. It's so nice that if I lose this laptop today, I really don't care because all my stuff is safe and secure. It's all backed up automatically. Go ahead.
Is there an extra cost for that?
Totally free.
Okay.
Free, unless you want to use more storage than 7 gigabytes. So they give you 7 gigabytes of storage space for free for your documents. 7 gigabytes.
7.
Yeah, 7 gigabytes, about 7,000 floppy disks worth.
Now you're saying
a lot.
Office, correct? Microsoft Office?
Microsoft Office, they give you, you can use it on the web with SkyDrive, so that entitles you to use what I have here like this. It's called Word Web App, PowerPoint Web App. They're totally free. So it's not a full-fledged version of Office. I mean, as you can see, if I show you, I'm going to go into editing mode here really quick. You can see the toolbar is a little reduced. It's not as full-fledged as the full version of Microsoft Word, but it's good enough for 95% of people. And Ruth is going to be doing also a class on Word Web App, she told me, so you can come out to that class as well. In the SkyDrive class, I'm going to be doing the deep dive. I'm going to go over all aspects of SkyDrive. How to save files into it, how to use Office web apps, how to synchronize your settings. So I'm going to show everyone the whole 9 yards of what this free technology can do for you. Okay? People ask me, will my old hardware work? Will my old software work? The answer is yes. If you're running Windows 7 right now, your hardware and software will most likely work on the new Windows 8 because compatibility is it's very good today. Microsoft hasn't done too many things to throw that compatibility off. There are some things that will not work, some programs, but in general, it's a lot better than it was when we made the change from XP to Windows Vista. That was a really rough time, and those scary days are behind us. But I say, if you want to go ahead and upgrade your computer to Windows 8, check the Microsoft Compatibility Center. I went ahead and included the link on there. You can just Google Windows 8 Compatibility Center, and it'll take you straight to Microsoft's page. And that is the official database to say yes or no whether or not something will work with the new operating system. Okay? All right. We're going to go into live demos. I breezed through that pretty quickly. Does anyone have any questions as we get started over here? Any initial questions for me? All right.
Is there a simple way to determine I have 8 or 8.1?
Yes.
Or
Good question, actually. Let me show everyone right now, right up front, how you determine if you have 8 or 8.1.
because I just bought a computer and it says 8, but maybe it's 8.1.
There's 2 ways to check. First, the easiest way to check is if you see the start button. I don't know if everyone can see it, but on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, there is a start button that shows. It's all the way down. It's a little tough. Let me do this really quick. Just so everyone can see it. I'm going to pick my screen up. Bottom left-hand corner, do you see the little Windows logo?
Oh, okay.
That is the start button. If you have that, you have Windows 8.1.
No, I don't.
You do not have that? Then you don't have 8.1.
I have it with Beginning Explorer.
Okay, then that means you have the regular Windows 8. So you have to
Okay.
go through and do the update for yourself.
Alright.
So if you don't see that little start button for yourself, very simple. All you have to do, go back to your start screen, and I'll tell everyone how to do this. On your start screen, you have a little a tile for Windows Store. You're going to have to go ahead and click on this. All right, give me 1 second. I need to change my screen size here. So if you click on Windows Store and you're running Windows 8, you are going to be given a big option here as soon as we get into it. On the left-hand side here, it's going to be big. You can't miss it. It's going to say, download Windows 8.1 today. Free. It's going to say like free update on it, something of that nature. It's going to be the first thing you're going to see on the Windows Store. So just click on it. It's going to ask you to install it. You click on the install button, and then it'll go ahead and through the process. And it will take probably about, for most people I've been seeing it take about 1.5 hours to 2 hours to download it and install it for you.
Alright.
But you have to do nothing more. You click on install and it does everything else for you
Alright.
behind the scenes.
Alright.
It's very simple. It's the easiest version of Windows to update ever. Okay?
Alright, thank you.
So let's go.
And that's updating from 8.0, right?
From 8.0 to 8.1. So the only way you're entitled to 8.1 is if you bought a computer with Windows 8 on it, or you bought the Windows 8 download
And
for
as a
yourself.
result, I will see this icon on the bottom.
Correct. You'll see the little Windows.
That would be a proof.
Yes.
of
If you want
such
official proof, even better than that, you can right-click on my computer on your desktop, and you can go to Properties, and it will tell you right up here.
Alright.
See that? Windows 8.1 Pro? That's the definitive place that it tells you for certain.
Alright.
But in general, if you have the start button, you have the new Windows 8 on your machine.
Alright.
Okay? So that's what we're going to be showing off here today. So let's get going here into the content, as we got a lot to cover. It's about 10:30. So let me go over to the start screen. I'm going to go to part 2 right now, and we're going to get back to the start screen for ourselves. So this is the start screen. My start screen is going to look different than your start screen, okay? Everyone's going to have a different one. By default, Microsoft includes a few applications for you right off the bat just to get you going, but it's meant for you to go ahead and customize it. Just like if you bought an iPad or a Windows tablet, you're meant to put applications on for yourself. This is exactly the same process that we're going to head and go through. And I want to let everyone know, if you're buying a new Windows tablet or a new Windows laptop or a new desktop computer, what I'm showing you in terms of how to use this is going to be the same across all devices. That's the nice part. There's no difference in how you use it, the same touch functionality, the same way that the tiles are used, the apps are installed. It's all the same on the new tablets, on the new laptop computers, so you don't have to relearn it. You learn it once, and you'll know how to use any Windows device that you can purchase. Okay? So this is what's called the start screen interface. This is the first thing you're going to see when you turn your computer on for yourself. All these different things over here are considered live tiles or tiles, and a tile is a gateway into an app, as you were talking about. These are the apps that we have on our computer. Actually, you'll see here this app over here on the left-hand side. Ruth, is there a way to turn the lights down just a little bit?
I don't think so, unfortunately.
Or if we turn them up, can we just see how dark it is if we turn
Yes.
them off?
Yes.
Derek, what's that button do?
Well, that's the
Right.
screen up and down.
Oh, that's great. Now you can see.
Is that too dark or is that good? I kind of like this because I want everyone to see in detail what's going up here on the
That's great.
on the screen. Okay, just no one fall asleep. All right, so I'm getting the big ruler out on you.
So Derek, what is the difference between this picture and regular icon on XP? If I click on the icon on XP, it will open my
An application, correct?
or the document, whatever.
Or a document. So
Right.
very similar. So
So
that
it's-
kind of functionality is reserved for this interface here if we click on the desktop. So desktop, this is again the duality of the new Windows. We have our start screen application interface and we have the old style desktop interface.
Alright.
So desktop is where you get your work done, you go to Office, you do the things you're used to doing before. The start screen is what we use for all the new modern applications as they're
But from
called.
my perspective, it behaves in the same manner. I click, it opens something.
Very similar, yes. You click on it and it opens something. It depends on what you're opening. If you're opening an app, you're going to get a full screen like this. You're going to get a full app, that takes up your entire screen, as opposed to opening something on your desktop interface where you have smaller windows and it's primarily meant for a mouse style control on that interface. Okay? Yes.
I have one question, and I don't think I have any other for the rest of the day.
Okay.
Don't say so.
Oh no, seriously. I have been told by 4 different experts.
Yes.
I'm sorry to say this, but they're in India, and they all 23 hours of it, and they have all told me different things as far as should I be shutting off the computer? Should I let the computer sleep? What is your opinion?
The new Windows is very good at power consumption, reducing power consumption, turning off internal devices. I mean, the power consumption is so well controlled that it pretty much turns everything off on the inside except the actual operation of the machine itself. So it's very good. I still recommend that people turn the machine off when they're not using it because, again, it's like your car. Your car needs time to rest as well, even though it's sitting idle on your driveway.
Right.
The same way a computer can be left on for a good period of time, but if you're not going to use it all night from 10 p.m. to 7 in the morning, turn it off. There's no reason to be putting the internals through stress like that.
I've had people tell me a week, 4 hours.
A week of what do you mean a week? A week of if you're
Once
not
a
going to use it
week.
for a week?
No, once a week, turn it off.
Once a week, turn it off? There's no difference about the number of times you turn it off in a week. I tell people if you're not going to use it for a span of more than 5, 6, 7 hours, put it to sleep or turn it off. Okay?
So putting it to sleep is okay.
Putting it to sleep is okay, yes. So I'm sorry, I should have said that. Sleep and turning off are both good options
Oh,
that
so
you can
that's
use.
where they confuse me a lot.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So the
the-
sleep mode puts it in a deep sleep so that you can quickly hit a button and it turns on for you.
Right, that's what
And
I
that it replicates most of what we have when you turn off a computer because it shuts off all the things like the disk drive, the fans, all those things that get worn out from being left on for hours upon hours on end.
Wonderful.
Okay, so it is good to put it to sleep or shut it off. I don't recommend you leave your computer on 24/7 running. Most computers you buy in a store like Best Buy, they're not made to be left on 24/7. They're not like a commercial server system that is made specifically to be left on all
Is it
24/7.
going to sleep automatically, or is there something I have to do to
Yes, by default it's set to go to sleep after 30 minutes, I believe. So it probably is turning itself off.
I got it.
It's just if you went ahead and you changed that setting away from turning itself off automatically, then it's probably not going to sleep
Wonderful.
on its own. Okay? So really, unless you changed it, you really don't have to worry too much about it. So these are the different apps here that we have on this interface for ourselves. And I'm actually using my finger now. So I'm going to talk a little bit about touch functionality. We got a little robot jumping around up here on the top of the screen. There's 2 ways that you can use touch on these new devices. Obviously, your finger, everyone's seen all the commercials. You can, of course, use your finger to go ahead and move around on the interface, which is what I'm doing now. Some devices come with a stylus. Mine comes with a stylus. This is a decision that you have to make when you're purchasing a device because most of the time, if you buy a device without a stylus, chances are you're not going to be able to use one, and specifically one that has a nice fine tip on it. So if you're interested in getting a tablet device like a Surface for note-taking, you want to make sure you get the version that allows you to use the stylus, because you can't just add the functionality after the fact unless it has the kind of screen necessary for doing this. And the reason I say that is because there are some stylus where you can just have a little bumpy tip on it. Most of the time those are like the Android tablets or the iPad. They're just meant for replicating what your finger does in terms of tapping. This kind of stylus allows you to have fine drawing and writing capabilities for yourself on the screen. So what I use this for is note-taking. I go to customer sites. I was at a customer site actually. There's some notes from my last customer visit, and I can go ahead and write notes for myself. Like this was a notebook. I actually used this for my last grad school class last quarter. I wrote all my notes on here in pen and put screenshots in here. So very powerful tool. I'm not going to go over this. It's called OneNote. It's part of Microsoft Office. But just showing you some of the things you can do depending on what kind of touch interface you bought your device with. Okay? So back to the start screen here. There's two parts of the start interface that we have. This upper portion is considered, I don't know if there's an official name for it, but I call it the home screen. It's pretty much your launch pad for all your main programs that you have on your computer. And then there's a lower part on the start screen that lists up everything. It's sort of the dump bucket that then shows you every single thing, any single app or application that you have installed on your computer is going to show up on this screen over here. And again, I can use my finger to go ahead and scroll between that, and I can use my finger again to touch any of those app tiles to launch them as well. One thing I will say, even traditional applications I can launch from this screen myself if I want to, like this Internet Explorer, my Link program. Some of these things are traditional applications and I can launch them right from the screen for myself. Let's go back up to the top here. All these little squares that we see over here flying around and zip zooming and doing different things, the ones that have capability that actually show you information on the tile, those are called live tiles. So live tiles are like if you've used an iPad, a tile or an icon to get into an app, this doubles as a launch pad to get into the application or app, but it also provides you relevant information. Like my Weather Channel app is telling me the temperature, the upcoming weather forecast right on the tile. So I don't have to have two separate things. Like Android tablets, you have widgets and icons. With Windows, you have only one thing. It's called a tile, and it gives you information as well as allows you to get into the program. So for example, if I wanted to go into my weather application, all I would do is tap on it or click on it with my mouse, and it brings me right in to Weather Channel. And every single app works a little bit differently. This is how the Weather Channel app is organized. In general, it's left to right, so you can scroll through the different items. My 10-day forecast, for example, I can view a weather map for myself. So every single app has different functionality, just like an iPad app. Every single one does something different. And when I bring this app up, it will bring up the relevant information for whatever that app is for. So, of course, our weather app's going to tell us what the forecast is. If I want to close out of this application, all I have to do is go ahead and use my mouse or use my finger and slide from the top of the screen. That's called throwing away the app. Now, on my screen, it's sometimes a little bit tougher because it's meant to be used with a stylus. But I can still do that similar functionality. On my laptop, using a mouse is generally easiest. And you can tell, if you look at the top of the screen here, look at this. See how you can't see because it's cut off just a little bit, but my mouse turns into a grabbing hand. It looks like this instead of a pointer. And when you see that, you can go ahead and left click, hold onto it, and then slide down and toss it away. That's what it is. Closing an app is just tossing it away out of your view. That's all you have to do to close it. And it is completely closed because if I go on the upper left-hand corner, and you can do that at any point in the new Windows, you can go to the upper left-hand corner for yourself and see a list of all your open applications or apps from your start screen. That one was completely gone, the Wikipedia app I just had open.
So I
So
can
could you
use.
go over that again? The hand appears and then what?
Yes. Let me go back to open up an app here. I'm going to go to Fresh Paint.
That's
Shall
only
I
if
tip
you
this down
hand
so we can see it?
that type of, I mean, I work
Oh,
with a
thank you.
mouse.
Yes, perfect.
I work with a mouse, so I don't have that option, right?
You promised
You do have
no
the
more
option.
questions.
I'm showing you how it works with the mouse right now. So if you move your mouse up, now you can
To the
see it.
top.
See that? It's a hand. Once you see the hand, left click, hold. The hand is holding. Move your mouse down. Throw it away. Let go.
I thought that was a different computer. I thought some are touch and some are.
If you're using your finger, you'd replicate the same thing, except all you have to do is slide down from the top of the screen. That's all. So again, with the new Windows, there's multiple ways to do any given thing, and there's 2 ways to close out of an application. There's actually 3 ways. I might show that another way in a little bit. You can actually move your mouse to the upper left-hand corner. Let me open up Fresh Paint, for example. If I go back to my a different screen, I want to close out of Fresh Paint. I can go ahead and move my mouse cursor to the upper left-hand corner. You'll get an icon that shows you a preview for one of your open other apps. And then I can slide my mouse down, and I'll be given all my open apps. So my desktop interface is considered an app, actually, in Windows 8. The desktop interface is an app in the way that Windows 8 treats it. But we have open Fresh Paint, desktop interface, and the Windows Store. If I wanted to close out of one of those, I could right-click on it. For example, right-click on Fresh Paint, and I can click Close right there.
So this is functionality of Windows, not only start screen. Is that true statement?
Yes.
In
Both environments, both ways of using the new Windows are available
the
with every
same
version of Windows 8.
functionality. So if I would open not one of those apps, but let's say Word, I can still use mouse on the top, move it down.
Well, it depends on which version of Word you're using. If you're using the one that's on the desktop interface, the more traditional version, that's like this, the one most people are used to, you're not going to be able to do that.
Well, I installed the latest one I just purchased.
But still, Office is used in a traditional format like this. It's not meant to be used with the full
Alright.
touch
So
experience.
this
You can do some things with
functionality-
it, but you can't toss it away to close it.
Alright.
That's only meant for programs that are primarily used in this interface like this. Wikipedia, my news app
Alright.
over here. Things of this nature, the new style Windows Store apps. Those are the
Okay.
only ones that work in this manner.
I got.
Okay?
I was thinking it's for everything. It's not.
Not for everything. Not for everything. There's some things that overlap, but that is one instance where that kind of functionality is not overlap for us. I saw a question. I saw a hand raised. Yes?
Like, for example, if you're in Fresh Paint, if it takes up the whole screen, that means you have open app. If it takes up the whole screen. If you click on Fresh Paint
Correct.
and it opens
Mhm.
and it takes the whole screen,
Yes.
that means the app is open.
That's correct. Means the app is open and in focus, and
Now,
you're
some of them, your email address shows up. Maybe you'll cover this, and it will ask for a password. Maybe it's a generic where you have to search, like it has a people. It's like a picture.
Mm-hmm. Those are some of the default apps. That's the Mail app that they include. It's a basic email program you can use. The People app is your address book that you can keep on the computer. So those are also examples of apps. Those are built-in default apps they include.
So if you click on those, like you say,
Mhm.
you can close it with that
Correct.
grab. Now the thing is are all those free? How can you tell which ones are free?
I'm going to get into the Windows Store. We're going to get to that just very shortly, and I'm going to show you how to determine free versus paid apps. Okay? And I'll show you how to install them. It's very simple and easy to do. And you can't harm your computer from doing it. Okay. So as I was saying, these apps over here on this screen, primarily on our start interface over here, these are all considered our Windows Store or our start screen apps for ourselves. They create these tiles, and you can go ahead and customize these tiles. So even though I have this layout over here for myself, I can go ahead and hold down with my finger or with my mouse, left click, and I can drag and move anything wherever I want it. So you can customize your screen, and I can also go ahead and resize tiles for myself. So if I right click on a tile, I get some options at the bottom of the screen. One of those is resize. And every single application, they have to build in what kind of sizes they'll offer you. Most of the default ones have all the largest sizes available, but the third-party ones are starting to introduce it. For this one, for example, I can change it to just a wide style tile, or I can change it into just a small little icon tile like that. So it's up to me how big I want it. You know, I like to see the latest news scrolling, so I like it to be a larger one, but it's up to you. Again, this is the personalization aspect of Windows 8.
I saw on the bottom uninstall. That means uninstall app
Correct.
completely.
Uninstall app completely. So if I didn't want an app, if I wanted to get rid of the default mail program for myself, I didn't want to see it at all, I can right click on that tile and I can do uninstall, and it will truly get rid of it completely off your computer. It's a one-click uninstallation. Very simple.
But what if I wanted to put it back on?
If you want to put it back on, I'm going to show you how to go back into the Windows Store, search for it, and download it for yourself one more time.
So it wouldn't be in that list that's at the
It would not be in the list. If you uninstall an app, it's going to be out of your list on your screen. You'll not be able to see it any longer.
But
So it
would
goes
be-
away, just like it's supposed to.
But it would be really uninstalled from my machine.
Correct.
Not only icon removed.
Yes, it does both. Icon gone and application or app gets uninstalled.
Or
Okay?
that's very nice.
It's very simple. It's a lot easier to work with than traditional
Right.
applications where you have to hunt for the installation, get rid of the
Right.
shortcuts. This does everything all in one shot for you.
What if you just wanted off the desktop or whatever, the start menu, and you just
If you want just the tile gone for yourself, go ahead and right click on it, same way, but go ahead and choose this option, unpin from start.
okay.
Unpin from start, for example, will take away this icon, just like that. But I
But I
can
would
still
still
find it in
change
my
it,
full
right.
list over here. I can still get it over here. It's just taken away from my primary start screen, my home screen.
And from this list you can bring it back to your
From this list, I can
start
bring it back. If I find it in my full list here,
Right.
I can go and right click on
And
it,
pin
and
to
same
start.
way I can now pin to start. So I can bring it back, get an icon for myself, and move that wherever I want it.
This is really simple.
The hardest thing that I found was you cannot get any, I did now, but you cannot get any printed information. They tell you, well, it's in the computer, but if you don't know how to work the computer, you cannot find
So that's a good point you bring up. Printing is something that is not meant to be done from the start screen interface. Because again, this is meant to be used on tablets. Tablets really don't do printing. So printing you're going to have to do by going back to your traditional interface for yourself. Yeah, it's not meant to do printing. It's meant to be used on here, saved on there. If you want to print something, you have to revert back to the traditional desktop
And
interface
that's fine,
to
but you
print.
don't know that unless you can read the instructions.
And yeah, and they should make that more clear. Yeah.
It's very confusing.
Yeah.
Excuse me, if you don't have a mouse, or just, that you touch, that,
Mm-hmm.
what do you do, like
Use your
tap
finger.
at it?
Use your finger.
Oh.
You either have one or you have one or both. Finger or mouse that you can use and all the same functionality. So for example, if I wanted to go ahead and work with my Skype live tile over here, hold down on it and I get the same functionality.
Hold on what?
Hold down my finger, just press on it.
Uh-huh.
And it'll give me those options. And I can do the same thing. I can unpin from start or whatever I want to do.
And you
So
did
everything
say,
I can do with the mouse, I can do with my finger as well.
you did say there was no charge for Skype, or there is?
Skype is completely free. Skype's always been free.
Always?
As long as you're calling Skype user to Skype user.
Yeah.
Some people like calling Skype to telephones. That's a paid service.
No, my girlfriend and I want to start doing this. She's in
Completely
Florida.
free. You install Skype, she installs Skype. As long as you have a headset or microphone and a webcam, you can talk to the other person free of charge anywhere in the world. Yeah, Skype's a very, very good tool. And Skype has a very nice tool for this interface. Actually, I should go into Skype for everyone to show you how that looks. Now I'm going to search for my Skype app. So I'm going to tell everyone, searching for your apps is something I tend to do. Searching is very powerful in Windows 8. I tend to search for most things that I'm looking for instead of hunting and pecking with my finger. I tend to use the searching functionality a lot. Not only can I find applications or apps, I can find files on my computer. And the way I can do that is simply by, when you're on the start screen for yourself, all you have to do is start typing. and I find it in 2 seconds. As opposed to looking through my list, and if it's further down, I won't find it right away. Searching is very, very powerful on this new version of
And that
Windows.
blew me away. They kept saying, well, just type this. Where am I supposed to type it?
Anyway.
Just type. And
Just type.
But you don't know that. And you don't have.
It's confusing. It threw me off guard as well when I started
know,
using
it's
it.
Crazy.
Yeah, but just type for it. Just start
I'm
typing.
so glad I came here.
And then you can even filter down where you're searching. So right now, by default, it searches everywhere. But if I knew it was a setting or a file I wanted to find, I could narrow that down and go ahead and change that for where I'm searching for myself. I could even search images on the web. I can search videos, all kinds of things right from this main search area for myself. So that's how I do it. So I'm going to search for Skype, type it in, Skype for desktop. So I have both versions of Skype installed. So this is kind of what we were getting at. This version of Skype is, no, actually, this version of Skype for desktop is the traditional one, the one we know and we're used to on the regular version of Windows. Skype over here, this is the newer style start screen version. So if I click on this, brings it in full screen for us, and this is all I can do now. So it brings everything into view, and all I can work with at the current time is just Skype. So I'm not signed into Skype right now, but very simple. If you install Skype for yourself, either click I have a Skype account, or I'm new to Skype, you'll make an account, and once you sign in, you'll be able to add your friend as a contact, and you can do a call, a video call, or a voice call with them. Very, very simple, very easy.
Thank you.
Okay?
So is that true if I have start screen and I would push just one letter, A for example?
Yes, like
It
this.
will immediately trigger search.
Immediately. As soon as you start typing, it knows you want to do a search. It's made to start searching right away for you.
Now, how come they can't print that?
What was that?
How come they can't print that little tidbit of information for us in the instruction manual or something?
Don't ask me.
There is no instruction.
As far as I know, they're trying to reduce people's need to be printing stuff. So that's kind of why they're moving printing into the background these days. We still have to do it. I know I have to do it myself. I printed everyone an agenda here today. But again, they're trying to reduce the amount of printing that we're doing. Yes, I saw another question. Go ahead.
I don't know if the MSN is an app, but like to search the web.
Mm-hmm. MSN is probably your start page for your Internet Explorer program when you go into Internet. That's what you get is just MSN.
Right, but I was able to like bookmark and do my favorites, but then all of a sudden the MSN was gone and my.
So MSN is just a homepage. It's just the default homepage you get when you buy a new computer. That's all it is. It's not an app on its own. It's just a website that Microsoft puts as the default home page for your internet program.
So
Nothing more than that.
if you want to do a search, you click on Internet Explorer.
Yep, you can go with Internet Explorer. That would actually bring you into a full view internet website experience. If you can use any website that you want to use. I usually use Google. You can use MSN. You can use Bing. There's a lot of search places you can use.
So Bing is free and.
Bing's free. Google's free. Those are probably the best two you want to stick with. Okay? All right. Let's keep moving here. I showed everyone how to close Windows Store apps. I showed everyone how to use that little left-hand bar menu for applications or apps that we have open for ourselves. And you can do this little swipe bar from either the desktop interface or the start screen interface. As long as you move your mouse or your finger to the left-hand side of the screen, upper left, you'll be able to bring up that quick menu for yourself and change between your different your apps that you have open. You can personalize the start screen for yourself, so all these colors that I have over here, the robots at the top crawling around, you can change that. You can go ahead and go to the bottom right-hand corner. This is probably something I should bring up as well. Moving your mouse or your finger to the bottom right or upper right-hand corner of the screen will bring up what's called the charms bar. The charms bar is sort of a quick access point to get between multiple different things in the new Windows. The biggest two of those is our settings area and jumping between our start screen and our desktop interface. So for example, if I'm in the start screen and I bring up my charms bar and I click on start, it will go ahead and toggle me between screens that I have open. I'm going to go back to it. Mouse at the bottom right or upper right, scroll up, I can get into devices. I can do sharing. If you connect your Facebook or your LinkedIn, you can easily share things out of any app you're within, so sharing becomes easy. Search is a big button right over here I can click on, and it'll just open up that same search bar that I can start using, so you can launch that from any application you're within. Okay? And just left click outside that window to take it away. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go into the settings area, and I'm going to go ahead and click on Change PC Settings on the bottom right hand corner. And as you can see here, you also have options to do a few common items. You'll see you can get access to your Wi-Fi from here. I'm over a wired connection, so I don't have Wi-Fi showing, but if you clicked on that, you can bring up all the wireless networks that you're at right now. The power button, you can open that up to turn off your computer or put it to sleep or restart it. So those options are right there for yourself. You can bring up your on-screen keyboard right there. If you're just using a tablet device, this is the easy way to bring a keyboard up on your screen. Actually, that looks like this.
Wow.
So I could do touch typing for myself. Okay. And we'll go back.
Try hitting escape.
There we go. Thank you, Chris.
Did it work?
My Windows 8 expert.
Oh, hallelujah!
I don't use the on-screen keyboard, so that's why I was a little confused on how to get it away. So, but let's go back. We're going to go ahead and I'll show you how to personalize some of the things really quickly. Settings, change PC settings. And from within here, the first area I get is personalized. I can change my lock screen, which is what shows before I log in. I can change my account picture, and I can change even to do a picture password if I want to.
What gang did you used to be a member of?
What gang?
Yeah, with them glasses.
I was at Wrigley Field a few years back.
I'm kidding.
It was the Blues Brothers night my girlfriend took me to. We had a lovely time.
Good.
All right. So let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and click on lock screen, for example, over here. I can choose different pictures that I want to use. So there's a lot of different personalization settings that I can choose from between. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but if you go into the settings area, you can customize all these different settings for yourself as well on your computer. You don't have to use the default settings that they provide. You can also use this up on the, click on your account icon or picture right in the upper right hand corner, and you can do change account picture, and it'll also bring you into the personalization area as well. Okay? And the way I'm jumping between screens, you see me pop in between start screen desktop, all I'm using is my Windows key. The Windows key is your best friend in Windows 8. You can use it to hop between all the different screens for yourself. So sure, you can use your finger, swipe in from the right hand side, and open up the start button over here and just hit that to go between. I find the easiest way, especially if you have a keyboard, just use your Windows key back and forth between all your different screens for yourself. Okay, that's the best way to cycle through between all of them.
I love it.
So
Yes?
to get the charms bar, you
Charms bar, there's two ways to do it. Swipe in with your finger from the right hand side, you'll open it. Or if you're using a mouse, move it to the bottom right or upper right hand corner of no matter what app you're within.
So you use the charms bar when you go from like Facebook to LinkedIn Facebook?
The Charms bar is just an access area to get primarily into settings, or jump between the start screen and your desktop interface, or to do a search for yourself no matter where you are. It's a quick access point to all these different things no matter where you are in your computer at any given time.
If you go from like Facebook to a link, would you use?
You wouldn't use the Charms bar. If you're doing that, you're using the actual internet program for yourself, and you're using the interface of the internet application at that point. You're not going to be using the Charms bar because the Charms bar has no control over where your internet application is going.
Because
The only thing you would use the Charms bar for Facebook or that is if you wanted to share something out to your social network from an application you're within. So like you were within FreshPaint, you wanted to share out a graphic or drawing you made, you can go into FreshPaint, click on share, and you could presumably take a copy of that and share it out with your social network.
how do you get out from the link back to Facebook or website back
It depends on which internet application you're using. If you're on the desktop interface like this, it's the same way you've always been doing it. You use your mouse and keyboard, or you can use your finger for it. Or if you're within the start screen version like this, if you're within the start screen over here, and you have the large Windows App Store version open, you primarily use your finger, the touch interface, to go between different websites for yourself.
I go from the Internet Explorer
Okay.
to Facebook to the link, but the only way I can get from the link back to Facebook is to do Control-Alt-Delete. It doesn't allow me to go back.
And when you use internet, does it look like this?
No.
This kind of screen? So you're using the big Windows the tile version.
I'm using the tile version, and you search at the bottom.
Okay.
And the start, it like disappears, comes back, and like if you go from one page to the other, the arrow on the left appears and disappears.
Yeah. So that's the full screen experience for Internet Explorer. You might be more comfortable with just using the version that's available on your desktop that looks like this, because I think you'll be able to see the controls a lot better and go between the different websites more easily. Once you learn how the actual full screen, the Windows app version works, then I would recommend using it, but for the time being, you might want to go back and use the traditional version of Internet Explorer, because it's giving you a tough time with navigating, it sounds like.
I don't even know how to get to that.
To get to this, very simple. We're going to go ahead and you click on the desktop icon on your start screen. Every computer has it by default. It doesn't go away. You can't uninstall it. You can only unpin it from your start screen. If you click on desktop, you'll be brought back to something like, something like this. We'll have icons on your desktop, and you can go ahead and click on Internet from the bottom, and you can use a traditional Internet Explorer interface for yourself. Okay? I'd recommend doing that because, yes, the full screen version is a little tough to use if you've never done it before, and it doesn't have all the settings and buttons available that people are used to. Okay?
You can do that also with the Microsoft button, right? Lower
With the Windows button?
Yeah.
To go between?
Yeah.
To go between screens like this, you can, yes.
Okay.
Not between different websites.
Okay.
But I could scroll between start screen back to my desktop.
Right, because Windows website for internet, it's property of
Correct.
mechanism show it.
Correct.
It's not property of Windows. Now in Windows I used to have before XP
Okay.
ability to go back, let's say 3 weeks ago.
Sure.
Do I have
System Restore?
Right.
That's available in here as well.
It's
I'm not going to go over it, but it is built in the
But
same way
it's
it was in
there.
XP. Yeah.
All right.
Correct.
And another thing, on XP, I needed periodically to go and clean up my hard drive. The same
This
mechanism.
cleanup is available in here as well. And actually,
it's
I would
not
just.
done automatically. I have to initialize this process, right?
It's it does a lot of things on its own automatically, but cleaning up like the temporary files, it doesn't do that on its own automatically. So you would have to initiate a disk cleanup for yourself.
Right. So if I would remove a lot of apps or applications, I would definitely have empty spots
Correct.
which won't be used.
Correct.
So I have to apply the same technique basically.
I would still use it. Yes.
Okay.
You have to use it less frequently, but I would still recommend
Right.
doing it once in a
Right.
while.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So let me keep going over here. We went over the terms bar. I showed everyone how to turn off the machine. I want to show off, before I move into SkyDrive, I want to show you the Windows Store, okay? So everyone was asking me, how do I find free stuff? Everyone wants to find free stuff on Windows 8.
No, we wanna pay.
No, you want to pay.
Yeah.
I'll
Good
tell you what,
joke.
Let me go on. You can pay for mine. How's that?
Oh, really?
So everyone
Why
start
would I
screen.
do it?
Because you like to pay.
But not necessarily for you.
Oh, I thought you were one of those kind people.
All right,
No,
let's get back in. Let's get back on track. So everyone has a
No,
Windows
I'm not.
Store icon for themselves. Click on the Windows Store, and we're going to be brought into the store interface for ourselves. If you're using older Windows 8, not 8.1, it's going to look a little bit different. The 8.1 store is a little cleaned up and a little nicer, but regardless, you can find all the apps that I'm showing off here, no matter which version that you're using. So as soon as you go into Windows Store, it's going to show you right off the bat some, at a glance, things you can browse, the picks for you, things that it thinks that you might want to install, some of the most popular apps, like the CNN app coming up on here, or some of these other games. So just like if you used an iPad before, there are all kinds of different things that you can find on here. If I want to browse for apps, I can go ahead and just go into Windows Store and go over to the right-hand side, and I can start browsing between categories like the top free items or the top paid items. New and Rising is a category, newer apps that just came out that are getting more popular, things that are trending. So there's a lot of different areas that I can search between. What I usually recommend for people to do is go ahead and use the search functionality. Just like we search for applications on our computer, we're going to search for apps for ourselves. So all I have to do if I'm looking for something like Netflix, even though it's showing here, I'm going to replicate what we would do if we're looking for it. Just type it in, hit enter, and it's going to give me the main Netflix program. Now, one thing to know is that a lot of the most popular websites out there have official apps, which is this Netflix app over here. This is the official one made by Netflix. And there's a lot of knockoffs as well. There's people that create third-party versions, like this one, Your Queue for Netflix, Netflix News, Netflix Tonight. So these are people that have made programs that include some kind of functionality of Netflix or have to do with Netflix. But usually the main one made by the real company that you're looking for is the one on the left-hand side. It's usually the most relevant result that you're going to get. So even though all the other junk was included, I still see the main Netflix program, and I can go ahead and simply click on it. And I don't believe I have it installed.
Other stuff, how reliable it is. For this Netflix, you have like a dozen different apps.
I always say if there's an official app that's like this one, and sometimes it's hard to tell, but usually you can go into it, click on it, and you can see, look who it's made by. Published by Netflix Incorporated. That's the official Netflix app.
Right,
if it's made by them, that's the official one.
But if it's published by ABC, for example, how do I know?
ABC News, made by ABC News?
No, that I would buy. But if it's XYZ, whatever, I don't know who it is.
It's reputation.
Why should I
So you want to
buy?
see how the reputation is of an app. So it's very simple. That's why every single app has ratings. People, look at this. 132,000 people said that an average of 4-star rating they gave this particular app. So you can see based upon, especially if there's more people that have reviewed it, you can get a good sense of how good the app is. And the bad stuff you can filter out very quickly because you can see right up here. Let's see, are there any bad ones here? So, I mean, relatively not as good. Movie Night has a 3-star rating across 147 reviews. Not as good as Netflix, which has 4 stars across 131,000 people.
But could movie night or whatever bring any harm to my computer?
Most likely not.
Yeah, that's
Just
my
like the
concern.
Apple Store, the Windows Store is filtered, so Microsoft checks every single app before it reaches here.
Alright.
So it's very, very safe and secure to use. I'm not going to say that there is no chance of something happening like that, but the chances are very greatly reduced.
Alright.
Very, very minimal of something like that happening.
So it's not
You
like,
can rest assured that anything you find in here has probably been looked at and checked over.
so it's not like everyone can publish anything.
Anyone can publish, but you have to get it approved by Microsoft before it gets
so
in here.
here it goes by approved by Microsoft.
After approval from Microsoft.
Okay,
correct.
I got it.
So you have 2 ways of knowing. You have Microsoft looking over it, but you also have everyone trying the application.
Right.
If people are telling me that something's 2 stars, has a 2-star rating, it either doesn't work very well, it doesn't do what I'm looking for it to do, or it's just not a good app.
All right.
So I would use that as sort of a judgment for what application to install. Look at what other people have rated it and get a feel for, is it something good or something bad. The average star rating that the people give the apps, they're usually pretty spot on. There's not that many people out to incorrectly rate a program. So it's going to be pretty informative as to how good that application is.
All right.
On the same note,
Sure.
when I was looking for help from Hewlett Packard, you put in Hewlett Packard, and everybody wants to help you fix Hewlett Packard. And I found out,
Really?
yeah, because the first company that I got, they get into your screen, and someone put something in the first computer that shouldn't have been there.
To me, it sounds like you got some kind of advertisement online that you clicked on.
Probably.
Perhaps, because those are separate and those are not controlled by Microsoft.
But you don't know that. I mean,
Of course you do. That's why the criminals are good at what they do. I'm not going to disagree with you there.
Well said, well said.
Okay? So you have to be careful. In general, viewing or searching for apps in the Windows Store is safer because, again, you don't have any room for advertising. There's no ads in here. This is all just apps that are published. They're filtered by reviews by whatever people rated them
But I
at,
wouldn't
and
find-
Microsoft looks after
I
them
wouldn't
as
find
well.
a company in there. Per se, I wouldn't find HP in there.
You wouldn't find HP in here?
Would I?
You might find HP in here. I mean, I don't know. I mean, let's do a search for HP. They might have some kind of apps. They do. They have HP printer control. They have HP connected photo. I mean, there's a few different things they make.
Oh my goodness.
So they do have apps over here. But seeing what you're talking about, sort of these fix your computer for free kind of things, that sounds like a rogue advertisement that you got on some kind of website. But as we can see, HP's got a lot of apps they have.
I
in the
tried
store.
one time to fix my computer for free,
Uh-huh.
and I got enormous headache, and it took me a week to recuperate.
I was on the phone for 23 hours over a 2-week.
There you go.
Yeah, so don't do it.
Oh no, I learned.
If we go to the Windows Store here and we buy whatever application, can that be transferred to another computer, or does it have to stay on the computer that you downloaded to?
So what's nice about the Windows apps from this app store is that, say you have one primary computer, you install them on here.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to another machine and you sign in with your Microsoft account, it brings all those same apps over to their computer automatically.
Yeah.
You pay for it once, you get to use it on your different devices as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Does that hold true for the free ones too?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, it's definitely for the free ones.
So
Yeah.
if I don't have a Windows 8 program on my or operating system on the other computer, will it do the same thing?
No, you have to have Windows 8.
Okay.
At least Windows
Give
8
up
or
some money
8.1.
sometime.
Huh?
You gotta give up some money.
Yeah, you gotta pay at some point.
I'm screwed.
You gotta pay at some point. Okay? But that is a nice
You pay
that is a nice
euros.
part. So
Yes,
people,
it's
as we're getting more and more
for free.
computers, if you have 2 computers in the home or a computer at work and at home, you can sign into your Windows account on both, install BBC News or install AOL app or CNBC, and you'll get it showing up on both computers actually. I was working with a business out in Texas this week actually. They installed Windows 8 on all their computers, and the wife went home and said, I have all the same apps showing up on my home computer. What's going on? I said, that's how it's built. That's how it's made to work. So it was a little surprising to her, but it's pretty nice functionality actually if you have multiple machines.
I think that's their main goal in life, is to surprise us.
Yep.
Police and radio scanner. Oh, my husband.
Yep, so you can scan the radio, police scanner. I mean, there's all kinds of apps on here. I mean, there's
That's fun.
do some searching, you'll find some interesting things here. But for example, NBC News, I don't have this app yet. If I want to install it, all I have to do is click on install. It'll go ahead, zip zoom, little status icons up over here.
Your free app is installing. I like that.
And there we go. As soon as it's done, it'll pop up a little icon like that telling me it's done, and I can click on it and go right into it.
Oh,
One click install, and I can start using it right away for myself. And again, touchscreen functionality works on here, so I can use my finger and scroll between the different things. So again, every app is different, and you have to try these things. I'm not going to tell you what you have to use.
I keep getting a pop-up on the lower right-hand side that says your CPU is using a lot of power, and I'm doing nothing but looking at my emails.
Well, you might have stuff that was installed behind the scenes that might be doing things that's using up your horsepower, so that might be something you want to talk to me about after class.
Okay.
But in general, you shouldn't be getting that kind of message if you're not doing too much on there. But as you can see, NBC News, we found it, we installed it, and if I don't like it, let's go back to my start screen. I'm going to hit my Windows key, as I just did. Let's see, where did it install? An icon here for me, should be somewhere. If not there, it should be here.
And go to your.
NBC. There we are. NBC News. Right click. Uninstall.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Babe.
Uninstall. And that's it. It's gone. If I search for NBC, completely gone. No apps match your search.
And
Okay?
and when we go to the Windows Store, we don't have to worry about viruses with these, do we?
You don't have to worry about viruses. No. I'm not saying that in the future there may not be an instance where something gets through the filters, but there's a lot of people at Microsoft watching through to make sure that doesn't happen.
Hallelujah.
So it's pretty darn safe and secure. Your infection nightmares are going to be over.
I hope so.
Go ahead.
Yeah, if you lose an app by doing something wrong, does it automatically go to the store, back to the store?
If you lose an app,
Yes, you know,
you can re-get it any time. So for example, I just uninstalled my NBC app. If I want to find it once more, go back in the store, research for NBC, find it for myself once again, click on it,
And then store it.
click on install, and that's it. I don't have to do anything more. It's not like my old programs where I have to find my disk again and find my serial code, find it, install it, and there it is once again for ourselves.
I'm not sure what the name of it was.
What's that?
I was
What?
playing around with it. It was some program or app that when you press the button on the keyboard, it told you what button you pressed.
Could be. Like I said, there's all kinds of apps that anyone's making out
So
there.
you just have to go looking through the store.
Go in the
Find-
store, look for something you're finding. You want to find. I mean, there's so much to find here. I just do a quick example of all the different things. I mean, you can type in sports, see all the different sports apps, and again, the most relevant ones, which are the official ones for a lot of these big names, come up first because these are the ones that a lot of people are installing. But you know, there's apps for NBA. If I did a search for NHL, for hockey, my favorite sport, find all kinds of things. Look at this. I did a search for NHL, 172 apps. NBA, 420 apps. How about MLB for baseball, 189 apps. So there's more than enough stuff for you to sift through and search and install and try things out. I mean, this is the nice part about this. Try these things, you'll see what you like, and you'll start finding apps that really suit your needs.
And eventually remove everything.
If you don't like any of it, get rid of it all.
Yeah.
And you put nothing on there.
While we're on
Yes.
the sports apps here, I want to ask you, what would it be called, like an archive or something? If you want to go and see a football game from like 2006 to the Super Bowl game or something.
I couldn't tell you exactly. I mean, you'd probably want to do a search for NFL films or NFL video and search through and see if any of those
what
apps
comes up?
give you the
Okay.
kind of capability.
Okay, I was hoping there was some kind of name for it.
I mean, your best bet might be just going to YouTube and searching for whatever kind of films you're looking for, because just knowing, I don't think there's any kind of app that would centralize all kinds of specific old videos like that. But I might be wrong, and that's where you have to just go out and hunt and give it a try yourself.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You can only download an app by clicking on install.
Correct. The only one way to go ahead and do it. Even the Blackhawks have 11 apps. Look at that. And this is probably the official app. Let's see. Who's this made by? Words Corporation? I think that's the Blackhawks. Yep. So there you go. The Blackhawks have their own team app themselves.
Hallelujah.
How can I watch a movie on my laptop for free? Because I was
It's
watching
again
it.
for
Everyone loves free.
Oh yeah. Come
I was
on.
watching it, and halfway through it says you have to sign up for
Of
it. You know,
course.
like it was-
Movies, remember, when it's
Oh,
copyrighted
tickets.
content,
No,
there's
you
no
have
such
to
thing as a
pay.
free ride when it's
Okay.
copyrighted.
Right.
For movies, I'll tell you right off the bat. If you want to watch a big selection of movies, there's two great
But
services.
just one movie like at a time.
Well, the different services have different selections. So Netflix is what I use. Me and my girlfriend use that. At our home, we like Netflix, but also Amazon Prime has a lot of videos that you can get. I think it's $80 a year, and you can watch a full selection of all kinds of different videos for yourself. And I'm going to see if they
Or you
have
can
an
go to
app.
a house sale and get the DVD for 50 cents, put it on your computer. Sell them for a quarter later.
But you have to have proper connection speed, right?
To watch videos, yes, you have to have a decent internet connection. So lowest level AT&T DSL, you're probably not going to have a good experience. But if you have a little higher DSL or Comcast internet at home or WoW, you'll have a very, very good time
How
watching.
So you will pay.
Hulu.com.
What's that?
Hulu.com.
Hulu's another one. Hulu is one made by a few different broadcasting companies, and that's another one that has a different selection of movies. So I would try all of them. Go to Netflix, try Amazon Prime, try Hulu, as all of them have different rights to different videos at any given time. So Netflix is the one that has the largest selection. That's why I like it, because it has a lot of old stuff. Not as much of the super recent stuff, but it's got a very wide selection of all kinds of different content on it. And that's why I like it. It's $8 a month we pay. We watch as many videos and movies as we want to watch.
In this library, it's a lot of DVDs for free.
You can rent the DVDs here as well for free. But the nice thing about Netflix is you don't have to come to the library. You type in the search for what you want to watch, and you can watch anything they have in their library.
Sometimes the
But we have to
libraries-
move.
Discs
You have to move your hand. I think it's a lot easier than getting to the library. Go
Sometimes
ahead.
the DVD library are
That's really
stretched
bad.
and they stop working.
And that's an example of where you run into problems with Netflix. You never have to worry about that, because if they have it, you're watching the best version of it that you have access to at any given time. Yes.
if you happen to find a movie that you like, whether or not it's a paid subscription or not,
Sure.
is it possible to download that movie onto your computer, like through KeepVid, or no?
No, not from streaming services. You can't do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So Hulu has actually an official. Looks like 2 applications that they offer.
I noticed that my laptop it plays the movie very quietly. I cannot hear it. I have to like listen very closely.
Gotta turn up the volume. That's.
But I know, but I don't know how to do it.
Okay.
Get some external speakers.
We are beginners, you know?
Just make it
I'm
loud.
kidding. We
Some
need
people
some
are
laughter
beginners.
here. A little too serious in this
We're all
room.
beginners in Windows.
You are surrounded by people who are still alive. Okay.
So very simple. Turn up volume is very, very easy. Move your mouse or your finger to the right, bottom right or upper right hand corner of the screen. And we're going to click on the settings gear once more. And right over here, there's a volume icon.
Right.
If I click on it with my mouse or finger, I can turn down or I can turn up. And that's probably what's turned down for you. You probably have this slider turned down for yourself too far.
You have to do it for every movie, or it's just.
You shouldn't have to. This setting is universal. You change it once, it should turn everything up for
Alright,
yourself.
thank you.
Some applications, some websites have a second control. They have their own volume control. You have to check and make sure that volume control is also turned up.
Right.
Netflix, I believe, has that.
Amazon.
Amazon probably has that as well. So your volume for your main computer and the volume for the program have to be turned up for you to be able to have good sound on it. And if it still doesn't sound right, the speakers on your device may not be that good. You might want to get a headset or headphones for yourself or connect to speakers of some sort.
I get a lot of buffering. Is that because it's not good?
Your
quality
connection is having issues, yeah. Your internet's probably too slow and they're trying to push too high quality of a video content to you.
That might be the major issue.
Yes,
Our building is converting soon, so.
yeah. And buildings that have Wi-Fi where they give out free wireless internet to people, that's very tough because everyone's eating up all the available internet juice. And again, there's only a little slice that you have for yourself. So that's going to be an instance where you're going to have a tough time. At the library, if you're trying to do it at the library, that you might have a tough experience as well because, again, we have a lot of people sharing just a single internet connection at once. Yes?
On favorites, can you put anything up there, or is it not a good thing to put like your bank name, where you click on that and you get right to your screen for your bank, or?
I see nothing wrong with doing favorites. I mean, I do favorites of myself as well. I mean, there's nothing wrong with
You
it.
can do that with Facebook instead of having a Facebook icon then too?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a traditional favorite, like we've always done before. But again, a Facebook icon is if you wanted to have a single app that you just go into and use in a full screen experience. Not every website has an app yet. A lot of them do, but not all of them. So that's an instance where I would make a favorite shortcut for yourself, use it in a traditional manner until Facebook comes out with I don't even know if they have a Facebook app for.
Of course they do.
Let's see. I believe they do. Yes.
I think I did have it on my
Yeah, they do have it.
computer and I took it off somehow and I didn't get it back. So
Yeah.
you can go to the store and get that again.
It depends on how you want to use Facebook. If you want to use Facebook in an interface like this that you see here, then you want to install the app.
Okay.
Again, it's a more limited version of the website, but again, it makes it easier for a touch if you want to do a touch interface style experience. If you want the full-fledged version of Facebook, you have to get access to it from the desktop interface, going on it through the actual website.
Right, but if
Okay.
I would go to actual website, I will always have full functionality.
Always, yes.
Right, so using
Anytime you do
apps,
that, you always do.
it's kind of shrink,
It is.
and it's
It's
only
again, you're doing a
easier.
trade-off for functionality, but you're gaining some capability in terms of making it easier for your touch-only interface.
Oh.
If you don't care about that, just use the full version of the website.
Okay.
Okay?
How do you know the difference? I mean, how do you know that,
The difference is you're either accessing Facebook going through this internet program over here like this, or through Google Chrome for yourself, or you have an actual icon on your desktop that just says Facebook.
I know, but how do you know it doesn't have the complete functionality on the app?
Well, what I was telling him is that the apps usually have a reduced functionality.
Oh,
You generally can't do everything you can do at the website with the app because they generally can't fit all the features into the app. It's a more limited experience. But it's generally an experience that 95% of people care about. You know, if you're doing something on Facebook that only a handful of people care about, then you know, you have to use the full version. But if you just care about browsing your news feed, looking at what friends are doing, you can just use the app. It's no big deal.
Now, if I load app or buy it or whatever
Yes.
from Windows Store, that means this app takes some memory from my
Very
computer,
small, very
on
small.
hard drive. If it's
Windows Store apps are very small compared to traditional
Okay.
style programs.
So
A few
if
megabytes in size. I mean, you could put a modern computer you buy today, even my machine, I'd have to probably put the whole Windows Store on even to come close to breaking my computer or installing too much.
Right.
I
so
wouldn't worry about
that is not the issue.
Not the issue.
Functionality is
Functionality is your issue. How much capability do you want? Like the Skype program I was showing. You can't do everything in that version of Skype like I can do with the full version of Skype on the regular desktop. There's some things that just don't work. Okay? All right, we're going to keep moving here.
We have time.
We got a half hour. I got a few more things I want to cover with everyone, okay?
We don't work anymore. We have nothing to do.
Speak for yourself.
All right, so SkyDrive in Windows 8.1. If you want to use the cool functionality like I'm doing, where I can go ahead and create Microsoft Word and Excel documents and PowerPoint on my computer or on the web, and go ahead and synchronize these documents for myself, you have to get yourself a Microsoft account, which is completely free. All you have to do is sign in with one. I'm signed in with one right now. Then you can check and see if you're signed in with it by going into your settings area, going into Change PC Settings, and click on Accounts. If your account has an email address tied to it, you're using a Microsoft account, and you'll be able to do the SkyDrive. You'll be able to synchronize apps and settings
Say
between
that again.
computers.
If you're,
If you see an email address
yeah,
up here, you're signed in with a Microsoft account.
wow,
If you don't, if you just see your name,
yeah.
then you're just signed in with what's called a traditional account, a local account. And you're not going to get the tools and power that I'm talking about.
So
Right?
it's
How did you
better-
get here again? How did you get to that
How
screen?
did I get here?
Yeah. Went to
Mouse bottom right hand corner,
Yeah.
settings gear,
Okay.
change PC settings.
Okay.
And then from here, I clicked on accounts,
Okay.
and it tells me what account I'm signed into right here.
All right.
So what you said, I think, makes sense to sign on with Microsoft. And
There's no reason not to use a Microsoft
Right.
account these days. There's so much good stuff that comes with it, and it doesn't cost you a thing. I don't see why you would not use it these
Right.
days, especially with 8.1. The syncing functionality is very, very powerful. So for example, again, I'm going to give a quick taste of what my SkyDrive class is going to cover, but I'm going to show you here. I have a SkyDrive folder on my desktop. I can go ahead and work on documents for myself. So Microsoft Office, Microsoft Word. Here's a tool bag chart for a tool bag list that we have to make from my company. I made it over here on my computer. I saved it into my SkyDrive folder. I can go on the web now, and I can log into skydrive.com, and I have the same list of files here as I do in my folder here. So what's nice about that? If I lose my computer breaks, I don't care because all my files are in Microsoft's cloud system at no charge, free of charge. If I want to work on it from the web, I can click on the item, and I can open a web version that looks just like my desktop version.
And it's
Exactly
done
the same.
automatically. You don't have to.
Automatically, as long as you're saving within the SkyDrive folder, it's pulling up to Microsoft systems, and you have a backed up copy of it. So not only does this give you accessibility wherever you go, but also peace of mind, and also is automatic backup, so you don't have to worry about, am I backing my things up?
Right.
If you're saving things in there, you're backing it up automatically.
Wow.
And that is the
Does
best
it
part I love
automatically-
about it, because I see work with so many people that lose files and save them on floppy disks still or flash drives, and they
Right.
lose things and things break. If you save things in this manner, you will never lose a file again. I guarantee it. Go
So
ahead.
does it save automatically once you're in, if you're working in SkyDrive?
Instantly. You save my Word document into that SkyDrive folder, it'll go ahead and it'll pop a copy up into SkyDrive right away. So let's do a live demo here really quick, just because this is a really neat tool and I really love when people start using this. So I'm going to start a new Excel document, start typing. I'm going to go ahead and save it into my SkyDrive folder off my desktop. So where's my SkyDrive folder? Here it is, SkyDrive. And again, SkyDrive you're signed into when you sign in with your Microsoft account on your computer. They tie together. Windows 8.1 does it automatically for you. You don't have to install any apps. I'm just going to give this document a goofy name like that, blah, 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 whatever. Close out of it. Close out of this. I'm going to go to skydrive.com. And that file I just saved should be sitting waiting for me right there. It just came in.
Wow.
See that? Now I can open it. I'm at the library. I don't have my regular computer with me. I can keep working on this document no matter where I am. There we go. Start adding more information, work on it, saves it right on the fly for me. Go ahead.
Can you print from it too?
You can print from here as well, yes.
Okay.
No limitations with printing.
So Derek, Skype drive memory,
It's 7 gigabytes.
right, and it's stored somewhere.
So it keeps a copy on your machine, and it pulls a copy up to
But
Microsoft.
when you saved it now on Skype drive, that
Yes.
means it's not on my machine.
It is on your machine.
Oh,
It's in
it
both
is.
places.
So it's like replica.
It's a replica, yes. It's a live replica that it's making. So even if you're on an airplane, you have no internet, you can still work on your documents.
Okay.
When you get back
Okay.
to the airport, go on wireless, it'll push everything up a copy to SkyDrive. So you have automatic backup happening all the time for yourself.
And
That's why I
you
said if I
said-
lost this today, I would
Yeah.
not care one bit.
And I don't have to push any button to save it in Skype.
All you have to do is make sure you save it in that folder, because there's some files people may not want to put there. So as long as you're putting it into your SkyDrive folder, which looks like this,
Oh.
you see SkyDrive, you can make folders for yourself like I've made. As long as it's within SkyDrive, it's being saved into the
I
service.
got it. So if it's not, it's only on my hard drive.
If it's not in there, it's on your hard drive just like a traditional version of Windows would,
Can I
yes.
upload from an existing document onto SkyDrive?
Yes.
Any document?
Drag and drop.
Okay.
If I want to move, let's see what I have. A little PDF document here from Microsoft. Drag it in this folder. Move to SkyDrive. There is that PDF file. Where is it? Here it is. And it shows me that it's uploading it. It's got the little arrows, spinning arrows that tell me it's uploading to the SkyDrive service. And it should be done in just a moment. I think it's done. Let's go over to skydrive.com. And there it is.
It's,
Wow.
And I can find this file on any computer as long as I have internet.
so from Explorer perspective, it's just another file.
It's just another folder in your computer.
Folder. It doesn't matter where it's.
But it's a very
physical.
powerful folder because it's backing everything up for you behind
Right.
the scenes.
Right.
So it's going to save your butt if your computer gets hosed.
And if I somewhere else at the library computer, for example, I can have access to my
Exactly.
server.
I mean, we use the business version of this. I go on at customer sites. I'm doing work at a business. I log into it through a computer on a web browser, and I have access to all my files I have on my big laptop that I use at my home and office. So it's very powerful. It's very neat technology. Yes.
Is this similar to Google Docs or? Is
Very
it
similar.
Microsoft?
Similar to Google Docs, but I think it's more powerful because Google Docs you have to use in the Google Docs format. You can't save Microsoft Word files to it and then edit them. SkyDrive doesn't care. SkyDrive lets you edit all the files in the same manner, even if they're traditional office files that you used to have saved. So that's the one reason I stopped using Google Drive, is because I was tired of doing the juggling act of having to worry about which files are Google Docs, which files are Office files. I said I got rid of that. This is so much easier because I use Windows 8 anyway, so it's built right in, and I can edit all my Office files on the web browser or on my computer. I don't have to do the juggling act anymore.
So I can move the Google Docs documents and.
You can export them, yes. I'm not going to show how to do that, but I did go through it, and I can link you to some information on how to go ahead and do that. Okay? Take one of my cards, shoot me an email, and I'll send you an article I wrote about doing that, okay?
But that means that another computer which I use for files which are stored at SkyDrive
Mhm.
should have application to order to open.
You still have to have the application, so this doesn't mean you're going to be able to just have full Office installed on any
Right.
computer.
No.
The only free Office you get is the one through the web browser. So if you log into skydrive.com and you make something here, you can go ahead and open it within here, use the limited version of it.
Right. Otherwise, it just stored.
Otherwise, it's just a file, the copy of the file.
All right.
Okay?
Thank
So,
you.
that's all I'm going to say about SkyDrive. Come out to my SkyDrive class if you want to really learn how to use this in the whole 9 yards, okay?
Of course.
So let's go to traditional desktop. We got about 15 minutes here. I'm going to power through this. This is the simplest section because everyone's already used traditional desktop, so there's not much to it. Traditional desktop is accessible by the desktop icon on your start screen. So remember, this is an actual tile. The desktop is a tile because you're jumping into your desktop from your start screen. So if we click on it, we're brought to a traditional desktop interface like we've always worked with in Windows. So I've made a few shortcuts for myself over here, but You can add on whatever shortcuts you want, just as you're used to doing in the past. There is a taskbar on the lower part of the screen for you. There's a system tray on the bottom right-hand corner, just as there always has been in Windows 7 and previously, so there's no changes there. The big difference between 8.1 and 8, again, is the start button, but the start button doesn't work like it used to. So if you click on it, you're not going to get any kind of menu like you used to. All it does is toggle you between the different screens. The same thing that our Windows key does on our keyboard. So again, multiple different ways to do something. You find the way you like doing it most. The biggest thing I use the start button for now in 8.1 is if you right-click on it, you get a nice little menu that shows up. It's got a few quick options, a few quick areas you can get into. Some of these things that take a few clicks to get into otherwise, but if you right-click on it, for example, I can go ahead and shut my computer down in one click. I can go to shut down, or I can put my computer to sleep or restart it. I can open up the run command. If you've used the run command, you know exactly what that does. I can go to control panel from here. I can open up command prompt. I can go into disk management, go into my system properties. So I get a few.
That will give access to what I asked for.
It's one way to get access to what you're looking for, yes. Not the only way. But this is one way, it's a quick way to do
like
it.
it's always multiple ways in Windows.
Yeah, but this is an easy way. I like doing it that way because, again, just right-click on it, and the little menu comes up, and I can open up those different things.
And this search similar to the search which we had.
Very similar, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, correct. Okay. One of the newest things you'll notice in Windows 8, if you open up your Windows Explorer to browse your computer, this is what you used to open up, that used to be called My Computer. Exact same thing. Lets you see all the files on your computer. One of the big differences is now that you have a interface that's like Office. So everyone's seen probably the new version of Office since 2007 where it has ribbons for the menus now. They've included that functionality in Windows Explorer. So you have your tasks divided up between different ribbons. And I click between the tabs to get between them. File, Computer, View, and this changes depending on where you are. If you're within a part of your computer like this, I get more options than if I'm just back over here like this. It changes dynamically depending on what part of my computer I'm within. And you get different options over here. So for example, I can go ahead and I can quickly go to Control Panel from here. I can go ahead and click on the View tab, change the navigation pane to turn favorites off if I didn't like them, or turn the preview pane on, or change it from detail view to icon view. So again, it makes it a little bit easier to get to some of these big options that we used to have to dig through the file or the view menu for before. Now you just click on it and you can see at a glance all your different settings that you want. You can go to folder options from here. And then you have access to up here, the quick access bar, where you can add and remove certain icons. So certain quick actions, so like undoing something, deleting something. You get access to those via one-click hit right at the top of the screen there for yourself. So for myself, I have a few things turned off, but these are the ones I have turned on. If you don't want something up there, just uncheck it. It'll take it away. If you do want it, turn it back on. Very simple. Okay? And if you don't like it, you can even go ahead and minimize the ribbon for yourself, so it'll get rid of that. Or you can open it back up by clicking on that over here as well. So this little arrow will turn the ribbon on, turn the ribbon off. It's not like it goes away entirely, as you can still get access to it if you click on the tabs, but it doesn't take up all the real estate. So people with smaller screens, you might want to keep the ribbon closed so you don't lose all that real estate. I'm a techie, I like seeing that stuff all the time, so I keep it open for myself, but it's up to you. Again, personalize it for however you want to use it. Another thing I want to show you is for icons like Microsoft Office, you can go ahead and right-click on icons in your taskbar and get access to a pick list of your most recent items that you had open. So if I right-click on my Microsoft Word, I can see the last 10 documents I had open for myself. Quickly jump back into there. I'm using this function more and more for myself because it's a really quick way to get access to something that's folders within a folder. I can just right-click on it and get access to that really quickly for myself. So I like that functionality a lot. Right-click on the icon in the taskbar, and I can get access to things that I was working on for myself. Okay? How do I make a desktop shortcut for traditional desktop? Everyone asks me this because it's a little confusing in Windows 8. Microsoft didn't make this part necessarily easy. what you have to do is you have to find the shortcut in your start screen first. So if I wanted to make a shortcut for myself, let me see, what program do I want to make a shortcut for? I want to make a shortcut to my desktop for this program over here that I have, Camtasia. This is the program I'm using to record this class today. If I wanted to make a shortcut for this program, I can right-click on it, and I have to go to Open File Location, all the way at the bottom here. Again, not very intuitive. I'm not sure why they did it this way, but this is how you have to make a desktop shortcut. So right-click on the icon, click on Open File Location. It'll bring you to the spot where the shortcut's actually sitting behind the scenes on your computer. And from here, now I can go ahead and drag a shortcut out for myself on my screen.
I can still do it just by right-clicking.
What was it?
I can still do it just by right-clicking.
Right-clicking what?
Right-click on the mouse. When it's on the screen, when something's open, if I want to have a shortcut.
That might be another way to do it as well. Yep, it's just this is the way I've been doing it from the beginning. This works for any application you have on your computer.
Okay.
That might be dependent on some programs. That might not exist for all applications.
I don't get into
So
it.
this is the way you can make it for any program installed on your machine. You can drag a shortcut out for yourself really quickly right from there. And if you want to make a copy of the shortcut, hold your right click, drag out to your desktop, and do copy here. And now I have a Camtasia recorder icon on my desktop. Very simple. So that's how you can make desktop shortcuts for yourself. Okay? I'm going to quickly show you Task Manager, Control-Alt-Delete for when programs used to crash on you. If a program crashes or freezes, you can do Control-Alt-Delete. Go to Task Manager, and from within here, by default, you'll see a simple screen here. So before, this used to be really confusing. You have to know the code name for the program to find it and close it. Now Microsoft said, let's make this easier for people. So now you have a quick pick list of every single thing open on your computer. If something's not working right, you want to close it quickly, highlight it, and click End Task. Simple as that. Very, very, very easy to do. If you're someone that likes to get geeky, go behind the scenes, click on More Details, and you can see the full list of everything on here. How much disk activity do I have going on? What kind of history do I have on my programs on my machine? I can see my startup list from here. Full list of all the processes and how much processing, how much memory are they using. You can get very detailed in this program. But again, for very simple users, you can open up Task Manager and kill any single program running on your computer very quickly with one click.
Could you please show one more time how you open Task?
How to get there? Control-Alt-Delete, 3-finger salute, okay?
Alright.
Click on Task Manager.
Oh, I got it. Alright.
And from within here, now you'll see all your apps that are running. If you want to close Skype, click on it, and do End Task. And it's gone. Okay?
Alright.
Very simple.
So Control-Alt-Delete still.
Control-Alt-Delete still works the same way. Yeah, gives you access to the same area. Okay? If I
I
wanted to
can
get,
even shut machine using this method.
you can shut your machine down as well. Control-Alt-Delete, and you can do from here. You can go click on Shutdown right from there for yourself. See that?
Alright, okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Very simple. I'm not going to show up the control panel. You can go in there yourself to take a look at some of the items. I will just mention that there's a good family safety feature in the control panel that you can use. It's a parental control filter. Windows never did a good job with parental controls. They finally got it right with Windows 8. You can get very granular. I don't want my kids visiting Facebook after 7 o'clock at night on these days of the week. I can prevent access to Minecraft or this game on the computer after 6 o'clock when they should be doing homework. You can change all those settings now for yourself. You don't have to buy programs like NetNanny anymore. So very, very useful, very powerful. And that's really the only one I'm going to mention that's worth mentioning right now. Some of the keyboard shortcuts that you need to remember that I use a lot and I think are pretty useful. Alt-Tab. If you do Alt-Tab on your keyboard, you can scroll between every single thing open on your computer very quickly. Okay? Or you can just use your mouse and scroll over each one. Very simple way to see everything running in your machine. So as I was saying, this is just another way to get between different things. And sometimes it gets confusing as I start doing this and I can't remember where I was last. So, see, I get that wrong sometimes. All right, that's where I was. So that's Alt-Tab. The Windows key plus X is kind of unnecessary now because the Windows button that was introduced brings the same menu up, but Windows key X brings up that same menu that I showed you, right-clicking on the Start button. It's that little quick pick menu of more advanced areas that you can get into very quickly. The Windows key is the one you definitely need to remember. This is the one I'm always using to go between my different interfaces. Very quick and simple. One button to take you between those two. And then, of course, I put on there the Windows button and right-click. You right-click on it, it'll bring you up to the quick list for tons of quick options for yourself. Okay? I put a few resources on the back of the agenda for everyone as well, for places where you can learn more about Windows 8. Of course, you can rewatch this class after today, but I put a link over to the Microsoft tutorials that they've made, especially the tutorials link on here. Very nice. Microsoft makes little 1 to 2 minute videos of doing all kinds of different tasks. How do I use Internet Explorer on the start screen? How do I make new tiles for myself? How do I uninstall a Windows Store app for myself? Quick little short burst videos that shows you step by step of how to do almost anything you want to do on Windows 8. So that's a very good area to check out. Of course, our YouTube channel, we have our previous Windows 8 classes that had different questions from the crowd as well. And then the Microsoft Support Center for Windows 8, full text articles for all kinds of issues you might run into or problems. So that's a good place, first place to go for any kind of issue that you're having with your computer. That's my formal class. I'm going to open the floor up to questions now.
So what are people complaining about, generally? For those are people who always complaining.
The people that are complaining are the ones that haven't used Windows 8 and the ones that just see the start screen as something that they can't learn, that they refuse to learn.
It looks very natural and intuitive.
I think if you go home, the demonstration I gave everyone today, I think you'll be able to pick it up fairly quickly. Again, play with it, try it for yourself, and see what you think. It's just a matter of giving it a try on your own. That's the only way you're going to learn it. You can't go to the store and expect a sales associate to give you that kind of a hands-on experience like you need to try yourself.
Did you discover any stones underwater we should be afraid of?
Outside of upgrading your old computer to it, which is sometimes a little nasty.
No. Dealing with Windows 8, for example, would you recommend not to do something? It can.
Off the top of my head, I don't know of anything. I mean, there might be things.
You know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean. I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now.
So far, it works well.
It works pretty darn well. Yeah. Doesn't freeze. It's very fast. It's very secure. What more can I say about it?
And no blue screen.
And no blue screens. Yeah.
I bought a security program when I got the computer.
Yes.
I never used it. It's still in the package. Now, can I use it now that my year's over, that the stuff that they gave me?
If the subscription's still valid, I mean, it depends on what program. Some of the programs they get turned on right when you buy it. Some of them are until you install it, it doesn't start the license period. So it depends on what program, depends on what kind of licensing's entailed with it. And it depends on if it's still compatible with the new version of Windows. Some programs, especially security programs, they need to be kept up to date very well to work with the new version of Windows. So you might want to call the manufacturer and ask them, hey, is this version going to work, or do I need to get a newer version from you in order for this to work properly? Okay? Yes?
I got McAfee on my computer, and Norton wants to be on there too. Should I take all one of them off?
I take both of them off. I don't like either of them. I put a program that I recommend on the back of the agenda called Nod32 by ESET. They make a Windows and Mac version. That's the program we recommend. Obviously, having something's better than nothing, but if you got to buy something, that's the program I would buy for yourself.
And
We don't have computers come back with infections with that
where
software.
do you get
on
that
it.
in? A regular?
The website, I put the website right on there. You can visit that website link. It'll take you straight to the purchase page for it.
How much is it?
It's $40 for 1 year, $60 for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty cost effective compared to what the big boys are charging in the stores.
Right,
So.
I had Norton before,
Yeah.
and sometimes when it started to work, it would work forever. And my machine would operate so slowly that I removed it completely.
Yeah, because Norton and McAfee are very big programs. They're bloated. They have
Right.
too many features. They don't do just antivirus scanning.
Right. Now I got new computer,
Mhm.
okay, and it also has trial version of
Sure.
Norton, and periodically they show a report,
Yeah.
but it doesn't look like it runs forever. It makes life.
No, it's only a trial. It's going to run for only 90 days or 60 days.
All
So
right,
you're
but
only
the whole process they do, it seems to work better now, faster.
no, because you have a new computer. I mean, new computer has a lot of
Well,
horsepower,
All right.
but it'll slow down in a few years, just like any other machine. Go ahead.
You told me.
Defender? Do you know anything about that?
Who?
And
About what?
Windows Defender?
Windows Defender is the free version of antivirus that's included with the system. Like I said, it's good to get started. I wouldn't rely on it for doing banking and other privacy-centric items on the web. It's a good basic line of defense to get you off and running, but I would get something like NOT32 for the long haul. Okay? Yes?
Is that a big change to go from 8.0 to 8.1? Is there a learning curve in there, or? I got 8.0 and I guess I should upgrade it. No, it's not.
I would definitely upgrade it, yeah. I mean, it's pretty much the same.
Is there a big learning curve when I switch?
There's not. If you know Windows 8, you're going to know Windows 8.1
Okay, and as far as the antiviruses you're talking about, like I got Kaspersky, is that?
Kaspersky's pretty good, yeah.
Okay.
It's right up there with NOT32. I still like NOT just a little bit better because it's a little slimmer. It's not as, it doesn't have as much performance that it takes up behind the scenes, but in terms of protection, it's almost just as good. So I would keep it. Yes?
And you were gonna talk to me about the CPU, high CPU usage?
Yeah, we'll talk after class, after we're all
Okay.
done, okay? That's a
Okay.
one-on-one discussion. Yes?
When you mentioned that, the apps that you have on one device
Mm-hmm.
goes to another device, do you have to have a router, or do you have to have a network?
If they are connected to internet and they are touching internet, and you can sign in to your Microsoft account off the other machine, it will work automatically. You need nothing more. I mean, let me rephrase that. You need a router between the two just to be able to get both on the internet. As long as they are on the internet, that's all that matters, because when you sign in, it'll start pulling all the settings, all the apps over to the other machine. So it's very seamless.
Must the other machine be on Windows 8 or can it be?
Has to be Windows 8, yes. This functionality never existed in the earlier versions of
You
Windows.
couldn't do it with XP or?
Oh, definitely not, no.
No, okay.
No, this is only Windows 8 or 8.1 with
Okay.
that feature specifically. Any other questions before we give out some goodies? Yes.
Can I have you look at this? I was pushing a button and it did something. I'm not sure what it.
After class. Let's wait till we're all
I
done.
want to make sure I can shut it off.
Okay. Go ahead.
Many places do, so you gotta ask what
I've been trying to change the wallpaper on my computer.
Okay.
on the start screen.
This is open, so don't
You know,
shut.
back in the old days, you used to put pictures of your family.
Sure.
dogs, or whatever. How do you do that?
Sure. I'll show you right up on the screen over here. Right click on your desktop.
Well, my computer died too, so.
Oh, yes, it'll do the same thing as long as you have Windows 8 or 8.1. Right click on your desktop, go to personalize,
Okay.
and you can choose your wallpaper right over here. Desktop background, and you can do browse for a picture or use any of the default wallpapers that they have.
Okay, thanks.
And you can even do shuffling like I have, where every 30 minutes it changes the wallpaper for yourself. So same thing as you're used to from before, it's just in a different spot.
Okay, thanks.
Okay?
What's the best program for downloading photos from your digital camera? I mean, there's something on Windows?
I wouldn't use any program. You just plug your camera in, go into your My Computer icon, find the camera, go into it, and just pull the photos off of it right from there. I wouldn't use an extra program. I mean, if you have to, you can use the program like Picasa from Google. It's completely free. And that's like a photo managing program that will help you get pictures off the camera too. But in terms of software you need to have to get pictures off, you don't need anything. You have a camera cable, and you have your camera, you can plug into your computer and get the pictures right off of my Computer icon on your desktop, okay?
I have an address box at the bottom of my computer on Windows 8. How do I get rid of that?
In
I don't
address?
know how it came in there.
In here, on this screen?
Yeah, on the bottom.
Here?
Yeah.
What does it say? Has your email
It just
address?
says address box, and I tried to type something in, it didn't do anything, but I
You
don't
might have
know.
opened up like a little toolbar to open up for website browsing into there. We can probably turn that off. It's just probably a toolbar that got turned on.
Okay,
Oh, you just
So.
did, yes.
Okay?
yeah, hopefully I can go home and figure it out.
Yeah, we can
Right.
Well, thank you very much.
One last
Where
question?
did you say that we could get a copy of this, what we're seeing here?
Make sure Ruth has your email address.
Okay.
I'll send her the link. She'll send it out to all of you.
Okay.
That's a complicated.
Or you can get it at our YouTube channel right away. It's going to be available immediately on our YouTube channel on the back of the agenda. Go there. All of our old classes are up there. Our new one will be up there as soon as I upload it this weekend. to the channel.
Okay.
Okay.
Any
Thanks
other
a lot.
questions?
Thanks a lot.
We got a few goodies to give away, so don't leave just yet. Let me stop the recording.
And free lunch after goodies.